Boise State is unbeaten, but not untested. Jeremy McNichols and the Broncos are racing towards a title and a New Year's Six invite. It's Wyoming's best Mountain West start ever. You better be ready for running back Brian Hill. Number 13 Boise State, suddenly hot Wyoming in the Mountain West tonight. An absolutely gorgeous night in Laramie, Wyoming tonight. Boise State and Wyoming, and here's what's at stake. Yes, Boise State is unbeaten. Yes, they're number 13, but with a win, Wyoming takes over the top spot in the Mountain Division. Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Waltz, along with Adam Archuleta. Welcome to Laramie. Boise State's got all the great tradition and success. Wyoming is on the rise right now, which should make for a very fun night here tonight.
Well, both these teams right now are playing with a lot of confidence, and they should. For the Broncos, this is par for the course. They've had success, and they know what it feels like. And for the Cowboys, this is a little bit of uncharted territory. So one of their biggest game in a long time. And I went on the field in pregame to kind of get a sense of both of these teams, and I felt both of them had the perfect amount of energy. They're not too hyped up, and they're both ready to play this game.
And they both have terrific running backs. Let's start with Wyoming's Brian Hill. What makes him so good?
Well, the first thing that stands out is his impressive size-speed combination. He is 6'1" and every bit of 220 pounds. Now, he is coming off a career game against the Nevada Wolfpack, 29 carries for 289 yards. And yes, this is a power offense. They love to run him inside, but he has the speed to hit the perimeter and hit home runs there as well.
Arch, you were a terrific defender. How would you defend Boise State's Jeremy McNichols?
Well, it's going to be a difficult challenge, and his nickname fits him perfectly. They call him the Weapon, and you're going to see him do a lot of different things in this game. They love to split him out and find matchups with linebackers and safeties, but if it turns into a power run game, they are not afraid to run him 35 times a game.
As you would expect with this renaissance of football here in Laramie with this Wyoming team, this is the biggest game in these parts in a long time. And with more on that, let's go down to the field. Cassie McKinney. Cassie?
Yeah, Rich, Wyoming knows tonight could be historic. They have never beaten Boise State, and for the first time, they are 3-0 in the Mountain West. I asked Coach Bull before the game, how do you temper emotions going into a game like this? He brought up his time coaching at Nebraska when they went to 3 national championships. Said the biggest thing he learned was you have to dance with the one who brung ya. He said, now that makes me sound like a real cowboy, but it's true. We have to stay grounded, and we got here with confidence and hard work. And guys, Coach said he came here to win championships, and tonight could be another step in that direction.
Boy, you're not kidding, and they are ready here in Laramie. It's been a long time since Wyoming took down a ranked team, 2002. And they have their shot at home tonight. This is McNichols, or excuse me, it's Jonathan Moxie. And across the 20, Moxie set down, and Boise State will get the football first here tonight. Chick-fil-A brings you the starting lineups. And with Boise State, you've got to start with Brett Rypien. Rypien, the sophomore. He was outstanding as a freshman, and Adam, he's taken a big step forward this year.
Yeah, he sure has, and he leads the #1 passing offense in the Mountain West and the most efficient offense in the Mountain West. The key for him is make sure that he doesn't have the big turnover and move the offense down the field.
2 pick-sixes in the win last week against BYU. And this is McNichols, and he's got 6 yards out to the 26-yard line. Now, we've told you about the weapons, McNichols and Rypien, but what about Thomas Spurbeck on the outside?
Well, he's one of the best receivers in the Mountain West, and he is the all-time leading receiver here for the Broncos. Not a big guy, only 6 foot, about 180 pounds. But in combat, in those contested catches, more than likely he's going to come down with the ball.
2nd down and 3. Rypien fires it to the side. It's Spurbeck, and he's out of bounds with the 1st down. Marcus Epps on the coverage for Wyoming. So 1st down for Boise State. Now, Wyoming defensively has been vulnerable in the secondary. Robert Priester gets a start at one corner.
They gave up a lot of passing yards last week, but talking to Craig Bowl and his staff, the priority #1 in this game is to stop the run. Now the secondary have to become extremely good tacklers in this game.
From the 37. Rypien with time, fires it on the seam, has Chaz Anderson who makes the catch, and into Wyoming territory to the 43-yard line, and Boise State going up early.
Well, Brett Rypien has a lot of different weapons, and he loves to spread the ball around. This time it's Chaz Anderson.
This time, Alec Danens, the junior tight end. 11th catch for Danens. This is a multiple offense with a lot of weapons.
And you thought maybe coming into this game they were going to try and run the ball, but right out of the start they're going to test the Wyoming secondary and see if, in fact, they can cover these wide receivers and tight ends.
Rypien just a sophomore. He is the nephew of Mark Rypien, a great quarterback for the Washington Redskins and Washington State. McNichols, second level, lost the football. Wyoming says they have it. And they do. Five turnovers last week against BYU, and the Broncos cough it up on their first possession.
Their 7th lost fumble of the season, and that's been the big thing here for Boise State. Rico Gafford, the JC transfer corner, comes in and puts his helmet right on the elbow of McNichols. And you talk about the improvement this year defensively for the Wyoming Cowboy defense. It has been about turnovers. They have been relentless in getting the football, and here again in this game, making it a big play.
And a turnover on the first possession for the Broncos. Now Josh Allen and Brian Hill take over. This is a handoff to Austin Conway, the freshman. Conway, a former basketball player here at Wyoming. The turnover margin is one of the worst in FBS, and now it's at a -9 for Boise State.
And when you look at the Broncos, that is the one glaring part that they just haven't been able to get right this year. Their offense is outstanding. Their defense is very much improved and a force, but it is because they give the ball away. And on defense, they have not been taking it away. And I think, you know, talking to Brian Harsin, he understands that for them to get where they want to go, they have to fix that problem.
Two tight ends for Hill, a little bit of a seam, and that's all he needs. This is a strong runner. 6'1", 220 pounds. Chancellor James makes the stop for Boise State. First down for Wyoming. Cowboys. And their starting lineup brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Josh Allen, a redshirt sophomore, injured most of last year. He has been outstanding. You see the completion percentage, and especially on this field, 63% and 8 touchdowns. From their own 40, play action. Allen to the air, little dump off. He's got Hollister, the tight end, midfield, stays on his feet, has a first down. It's a 13-yard pickup, and Wyoming is in Boise State territory. Now the question up front for Wyoming, Brinkley Jolly gets the start at right tackle for Ryan Cummings.
The offensive line, their play this year is a big reason why they've been so good at running the football. This is going to be their very first game that the starting 5 is not intact. And Brinkley Jolly has a big test and a big game in front of him tonight.
Allen fires the out. Good coverage there by Jonathan Moxie. There was contact with Tanner Gentry.
Yeah, he arrived a little bit early, but you know, maybe you can make an argument that that ball may not have been catchable. A little bit to the outside. Close call.
Second down and 10. Hill in the backfield. And a guy who was an outstanding linebacker in high school in Illinois. And as it happened, Craig Bowl had recruited his cousin to play at North Dakota State. So when he walked into the Hill household, they knew an awful lot about him. Allen on an option is going to get the first down, and he's inside the 45, down to the 42. A methodical yet very effective drive right now by Wyoming.
Well, it gets a great block from their tight end, the senior Jacob Hollister, number 88. He's the one that seals it, and that opens up the lane for Allen to get around the corner. Number 88 gets the block on Ben Weaver, the linebacker. And then you see that athletic ability and the speed for Allen on the ground.
He's picked up 2 key third downs on this drive. 1st and 10, play action, tip ball, and it's picked. Intercepted. Chancellor James went to a knee to make the catch. Someone got a hand on the throw from Allen, and a rare interception, just the 3rd all season for Boise State.
At first I thought it was the linebacker Joe Materano, but it was the nose tackle, number 55, David Moa, in the middle of your screen, gets the left hand up there. The ball flies up, and then on the spot, beautiful interception by Chancellor James.
Both teams with a turnover, neither team with a point. Second down, 10. Scoreless so far. Both teams have a turnover. McNichols gets a block, busts it loose. McNichols to the 40, and has scored it out of bounds by Andrew Winger. That's a 20-yard gain.
Oh, and what a block that he got. Mason Hampton, the center, is going to cut out in front of this thing, pulling around, and watch how he leads up inside and clears the way at the next level for McNichols to get into the secondary. It's an athletic offensive line here for the Boise State Broncos.
Rypien on 1st and 10. Crossing pattern caught there. That's Sean Modster, who had a nice game against BYU, had 4 catches. And Modster is down to the 31-yard line. That's a gain of 9. Second time Boise State has been this deep in Wyoming territory. It was a McNichols fumble that ended that first drive. This time it's Alexander Madison. He's going to lose a yard. And so 3rd down. And this is going to be a long 3.
A safety blitz, Andrew Winger coming off the weak side. And he was the free hitter, but that was an excellent play by the nose tackle, Malaulu, to defeat the block of Mason Hampton and make the play on McNichols.
Boise State uses a lot of tight ends, and 4 of them are in right now. Quick snap. Rypien's going to throw. Fires it. Caught at the 5. Down goes Chase Blakely. His first catch of the season. 28 yards and 1st and goal for the Broncos.
Well, tight ends have been seldom used in the passing game, but here for the 2nd game in a row, come through in a big way. This is a running formation where they're thinking heavy run tendency. But Blakely coming from the left side, crossing the field, and a perfect pass from his quarterback, Brett Rypien.
From the Wyoming 5, 1st and goal. McNichols bounces outside, breaks a tackle, race for the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, Boise State. And the Broncos are on the board first. 17th touchdown that leads the nation for Jeremy McNichols.
He's hard to tackle. He's such a wonderful athlete, whether it's catching the ball or hitting the edge. And when you have a chance to make a one-on-one tackle, you have to hit the outside leg and force him to go back inside if you miss. That time, Marcus Epps, the excellent tackling strong safety, misses it, and McNichols gets the sideline.
Tyler Rossa with the extra point. And remember, it all started. David Moa got a hand on the Josh Allen throw. Chancellor James had the pick. That started a 71-yard, 8-play drive, which was finished by Jeremy McNichols. 7-0, Boise State. couple of NFL Broncos, Doug Martin and Adam Archuleta. You had a nice look at Jay Ajayi in a record-setting weekend last weekend for the Dolphins.
I did the Buffalo-Miami game last week, and Jay Ajayi just went savage on that Buffalo Bill defense. The second week in a row, only the fourth time in NFL history somebody's gone back-to-back 200-yard games.
Hill, midfield. Hill, a nice move. Still on his feet. Inside the 40 to the 37. 27 yards for Brian Hill.
Boy, such a good run inside, and the vision to read his blocks from the center, Chase Roulier, and the freshman Gavin Rush. You saw Brinkley Jolly, the fill-in right tackle, get up to the second level on the linebacker as Brian Hill explodes into the secondary.
43 yards now, 5 carries. Into Boise State territory. Allen setting up a screen. Has his man caught there. That's Hollister inside the 15. And Jacob Hollister is inside the 10. Wyoming's got first and goal on a 29-yard pass from Josh Allen.
Once again, back-to-back plays. The center, Chase Roulier, the all-everything offensive lineman, is the one that gets out in front of this thing. Number 55 blocking and then leading the way, getting up on the safety out there. Or excuse me, the linebacker, Jabril Frazier, and the screen game for the second time today to the tight ends working for Josh Allen in the Cowboy offense.
Great block by Jake Mulhart as well downfield. Sean Wick into the ball game and his first touch. No gain, second and goal. Into the red zone is Wyoming. Red zone tonight brought to you by Verizon. The national average, 62% in terms of touchdown percentage. Wyoming ahead of that curve at 75%.
Yeah, 21 touchdowns this season. 15 of those being runs. I'm sure you're not surprised about that, Rich.
Not with Brian Hill or the third down exploits of Josh Allen. This is second and goal. Hill cuts. Hill lunges. And he's inside the 2. David Moa from behind, 6 yards on the carry. And this is third down and goal.
This is what I love about this run. Brian Hill tries to stretch out the defense as if he's going to try and hit the edge. But at the very last moment, cuts back inside, breaks the tackle, and gets positive yards.
Final seconds melt away. First quarter. Big showdown here in the Mountain West tonight.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Boise State unbeaten and number 13. Wyoming on the rise at 5-2. 7-0 Boise. Wyoming on the doorstep, headed to the second quarter. Late October in Laramie in the Mountain West. Start of the second quarter. Wyoming trying to knock off number 13. Little Halloween action. Third down and goal from the 2. Adam Archuleta, what's on your play card?
Well, no question, you always have to account for Brian Hill running the football, but because this ball is on the left hash and Allen has the entire right side of the field, movement pass to his right is always in play.
We saw Boise State changing off the timeout once they recognized the position set for Wyoming. So third and goal from the 2. And Allen is rolling right, flush back left, finds his way back to the line of scrimmage. Ben Weaver, the senior linebacker, made the stop, the leading tackler for the Broncos. Now what?
Well, Sam McCaskill read his scouting report, sprint out right, and he jumped to the outside to cut off Allen, and there was no time for the play to develop. That was a great job of playing the play and forcing Allen into a quick decision.
A pair of blockers in front of Hill. It's Hill who's hit and stopped, and Boise State has held. Boy, there was a lot of bodies in the middle to begin with, and there was no room at all for Brian Hill.
David Moa inside the Moa Constrictor number 55 is the reason why this play was stacked up. He got right under the center. Number 55. And he's the reason why there was absolutely nowhere to go. And Boise State all over it. But that was made because the play before, Sam McCaskill not allowing the play to develop. And the Bronco defense with a huge play.
Well, Wyoming has moved the football, 128 total yards, but they have no points. And now Rypien and the Broncos will just try to push it away from the goal line and get it out across the 2, close to the 3.
It's still a dangerous place. Now, one thing you have to remember when you're down tight like this, you know, passing the ball out of your end zone, Wyoming doesn't really have a great pass rush. Carl Granderson was their best rusher with 4 sacks on the season. He's out with an ACL. But the rest of that defense has not shown the ability to consistently get to the quarterback. But they're going to have to try and find a way to do this right here with Rypien aligning in his own end zone.
McNichols in the backfield. And it's McNichols staying on his feet amazingly across the 20 to the 30. McNichols out near midfield. What an effort. Jeremy McNichols, the junior out of Long Beach, California, a 40-yard run.
Well, Andrew Wingard is the leading tackler in the Mountain West, playing free safety. He gets a chance to make contact in the hole for a no gain. He puts his shoulder in there. He doesn't wrap up. And look at the effort by McNichols. He puts the left hand down, keeps his balance, and with a big play to get Boise State out of trouble.
93 yards on the ground already for Jeremy McNichols. Rypien fires it, far sideline. Spurbeck to catch, avoids one, cross midfield, and Thomas Spurbeck on a 13-yard pickup. Marcus Epps made the stop for Wyoming. And now Boise State's offense is humming.
Boy, that was a big play. And Wyoming had a chance there to take advantage of great momentum. You know, one of the things they pride themselves here at Boise State, you know, talking to Brian Harsin, is how tough they are. And when they get in tough moments, their team loves to thrive and rise to the occasion. And that's one of the things that he said was the strength of his football team, overcoming adversity. And that was a great example, first by the defense and then the offense.
Rypien to throw, time, deep ball, middle, caught, Wilson down to the 2. Cedric Wilson, Robert Priester on the coverage, and a gorgeous strike from Brett Rypien.
Well, trying to take advantage of the middle of the field, and you're going to see the safety, Andrew Wingard again. He comes inside, both safeties vacate, and there's nobody in the middle of the field to give help to Robert Priester. I mean, you cannot expect a cornerback to play outside leverage with no help in between the hash marks and expect him to make that play.
Now the Broncos right back on the doorstep. From the 2, McNichols, touchdown. And the Broncos make Wyoming pay. A 2-touchdown lead for the number 13 team in the country.
Well, we talked about, you know, some of the keys to this game, and for Wyoming defensively, you have to make Boise State earn it. This is an explosive team, one of the more explosive teams in the Mountain West. And you had a chance to pin them deep, but a missed tackle allows them to get out of trouble, and then Rypien follows it up with a big play to Cedric Wilson. That was a beautiful drive by the Bronco offense. 5 plays, 94 yards.
Wow. Extra point good. And the key play, Jeremy McNichols. I think a lot of folks here in Laramie thought he was down. but not McNichols. The hand to the turf 3 times. And he races out to midfield and then takes it in. 14-0 Broncos. Brett Rypien and Jeremy McNichols. And McNichols with a pair of touchdowns. He has been electric. And of course, his night started with that fumble, but he's recovered nicely from it.
Yeah, remember, you know, Cassie McKinney on the sideline saying how upset and distraught he was after that fumble. Well, that's how you rebound. And you come back out and you make big plays, and that's how you atone for a big mistake.
Another big kickoff from Tyler Ross.
And when you have a chance to be in scoring position, you have to take advantage of that and turn it into points. That's the thing they have not been doing, is taking advantage of their good fortune.
Allen wings it out, and Gentry with his first catch of the night. Tanner Gentry is a really nice weapon, the senior out of Aurora, Colorado. 13-yard pickup.
He was having a terrific year last year. You're going to see Tanner Gentry in the slot, and he's going to run an out route on the safety, Dylan Summer Gardner. But Tanner Gentry injured his shoulders last year, and they really didn't have a big passing threat when he went down. But because he's been able to be healthy, and with the emergence of Josh Allen, they do have a threat in the passing game this season.
On the ground, this is Sean Wick. The senior is the understudy, so to speak, to Brian Hill, but he's a guy that can hurt you as well.
Well, this is the one thing that Craig Bold said about his running back, the senior Sean Wick, is that he's handled his role well this year. And what they noticed is, and what they didn't have last year, when Brian Hill came out of the game, they had a significant drop-off. Well, this season, they don't have a drop-off. Now, Wick is not as good as Brian Hill, but he has the potential to hit 10-yard runs, and that's exactly what you just saw.
Aren't many running backs in the country that are better than Hill. This is Hill. And after that 11-yard carry by Wick, Hill rips off a 9-yard run. And this is how Wyoming has moved the football. And their offense has actually been efficient in picking up yardage and first downs.
They're running the ball in this game. They're choosing to run the ball behind their 3 interior linemen, Gavin Rush, Chase Roulier, and Caden Jackson. And I think because of the injury to Ryan Cummings, they feel like the inside 3 is their best bet, and Brian Hill is seeing the hole well.
Hill again bounces outside, inside the 30, still on his feet. Hill is inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. And that is Brian Hill in a nutshell. Tough yards. Big yards, 23-yard gain.
Boy, he is seeing the hole. This is supposed to hit front side to his left. They pull the backside guard, but because of his great vision, he sees the inside linebacker overcommit to the right side and hits the cutback lane. And then once he gets into the open field, it's tough for any member of the secondary to get him down in one-on-one tackling.
Hill lost his helmet. He's out for a play. Sean Wick is back in. And on 1st and 10, it's Wick. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Ben Weaver made the stop for Boise State. 9.5 minutes left. First half, Boise State up 14-0. But the game is not as lopsided as the score would indicate. Wyoming has moved the football. 184 total yards here in the first half, but with nothing to show for it.
Well, Boise State's defense is terrific in the red zone, and a big reason why they were able to overcome 5 turnovers last week against BYU.
Allen, end zone, caught, Hollister, touchdown. An answer from Wyoming. $75 yards on 6 plays. Josh Allen, his 11th touchdown pass of the season. Jacob Hollister and Wyoming on the board. 14-7, Boise State. Josh Allen on the right, Jacob McAllister with the catch on the left. Both offenses have found their groove, and that groove in the last possession was all about Jeremy McNichols. Broncos get it, their own 25, Rypien on play action, rolling, firing short. I see you, Brett Rypien, though, has been good so far tonight. 9 of 12, 135 yards, and he's found 7 different receivers.
Well, that's what he does well. He spreads it around. You know, it's always, Thomas Spurbeck is always going to have an impact in this offense. But then Cedric Wilson is there, and Chaz Anderson. Last week it was Sean Modster who had a big part in this game. So you never know who it's going to be. One thing you have to do if you're Wyoming, you must protect in between the hash marks. That's where they're attacking, and that's where they had success last week as well.
McNichols split out as a wide receiver. Open is Wilson. Catch at the 35, has the first down. Cedric Wilson. Look, I know a lot of people talk about Thomas Spurbeck, but Cedric Wilson, the junior, has emerged as a real weapon.
Well, he's the guy that he looks the part. He's 6'3", 183 pounds, 4 catches, 68 yards a week ago. But when you draw it up, how you want your wide receiver to look athletically, that's what Cedric Wilson brings to the offense.
1st and 10, just shy of the 40. Play action, Rypien time, left sideline. Jake Knight. Knight had that big catch in the 4th quarter that set up a game-winning touchdown against BYU. Good coverage along the sideline.
Boy, what a job right here. DJ May, he's the linebacker, and they're going to try and run a route to isolate him one-on-one. But the former running back in perfect position down the field. Well done by number 7, DJ May, the senior linebacker.
2nd and 10, Rypien, quick throw, caught there. Spurbeck at midfield, and he dances out of bounds. The career leader in receiving yardage at Boise State has a 19-yard pickup.
Well, Andrew Wingard is the primary covered defender on this play. And I'm not sure what he was doing, but he goes underneath. He tries to jump underneath. In no way in position to get an interception, and that allows Spurbeck to catch the ball in open space and turn upfield.
Rypien 11 of 15. You can see 168 yards. McNichols inside the 40. Gain of 3. Kevin Prosser, the sophomore defensive end, the stop for Wyoming.
Rich, Cowboys in their secondary, both Andrew Wingard and Marcus Epps, have to start making more plays in this game. They put a lot of pressure on their safeties, both in the run and pass game. So far today, missed tackles and missed assignments have hurt this defense.
McNichols has a hole, has a first down. Antonio Hull makes the stop, another 9 yards. Over 100 now is McNichols. He's at 107.
What a block here by the right tackle. Picking up the blitzing linebacker, Logan Wilson. And Mario Yaku makes the big block to let McNichols get into the secondary.
And McNichols is not a back that rotates in and out. This is a guy that carries the load the entire game. Tries the right side, now cuts back, open territory. Rypien throws a block, and McNichols is out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Another big gain, 13 yards and a first down.
What vision, and what a play by McNichols. This is completely stopped to his right. There are Cowboys swarming him. And watch, he reverses field. Bad discipline, keeping contained on the backside. And then you see McNichols, his speed, is able to make something out of nothing. He's having a terrific game. Right now, Cowboys on defense look tired.
Alexander Madison in for McNichols. And this is Madison, and he's into the secondary. Madison into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos. the freshman. And Boise State on the board again.
Well, that time Stephen Baggett, the right guard, with the key block, and you can see Cowboys tired on that drive. Easily their worst effort of the game, being stuck on blocks up front and then poor tackling in the secondary. That was an impressive drive by the Boise State Broncos.
75 yards, 8 plays. Boise State is just chewing up yardage. 305 total yards so far for this Bronco offense. And number 13 on the road in the Mountain West is up a couple scores. 21-7. Cowboys do not lack for facilities. A nice indoor practice facility and a new football complex coming. That one through the end zone. Craig Bohl's third year after 3 national titles at North Dakota State. Allen will throw, time, sideline, caught there. It's Hollister again. Jacob Hollister, who had the touchdown catch, 27 yards, and the Cowboys have a first down at the Boise State 40.
Boy, what a throw and what an adjustment back to the ball for Jacob Hollister, lined up as an inline tight end. And against the safety, Dylan Summer-Gardner gets that last bit of separation and then athletically goes up, gets the ball, and comes in bounds. Huge play. Tight ends have been a big part of the offense tonight.
Hill with a gain of 7. Now the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 7-0. You got to know that brings a smile to Craig Bohl's face, the Wyoming head coach. He was a walk-on defensive back at Nebraska back in the 70s. This is Hill, and he's inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. He was then an assistant, Bohl was, at Nebraska, and while he was there, Bob Devaney told him, Devaney, of course, the successful Nebraska coach, coached here at Wyoming. They used to talk about Wyoming, and Bohl always asked him, why did you have success in such a faraway place? He used that formula in Fargo at North Dakota State, and he's using it here in Laramie. At the 28th of Boise State. 3 receivers stacked. Statue of Liberty. Wait a minute. This is not Boise State on offense. This is Wyoming. It doesn't go for much yardage. In fact, Brian Hill gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I like the thought of it, but a great reaction. They didn't plan on the reaction abilities of Joe Martirano, the inside linebacker, who wasn't fooled for a second. I think maybe he's seen that play in practice a few times.
I was about to say, I think this defense has seen the offense run that a few times on the blue turf. Austin Conway to the 25. He's gotten 3. And this is going to bring up another 3rd down for Wyoming. A little bit longer here, 3rd down and 7.
So I understand, because you're going up against a defense that is really good in the red zone. And so maybe you're trying to get them off balance by using some trick plays. But those last 2 plays, they got away from their formula of moving the ball down the field. You know, using Brian Hill in the power running game, and then the accurate drop back passing from Allen. I don't know if that was the right sequence at that time. And now they're in the 3rd and long.
Hill not in the game. They'll hand it off to Sean Wick. And he'll try the left side. He's going to gain ground, but he's well shy of the 1st down, and it looks like Wyoming's bringing the field goal unit on.
You know, that's the risk that you have when you dial up trick plays. And when they don't work, then they put your offense behind schedule. And I just thought the way the momentum and the way they were driving the ball and the way Hill was running the ball, especially behind his center, Chase Roulier, I really thought they hurt that drive with that selection of plays.
This is a 40-yarder from a freshman kicker who hasn't kicked much lately, and he drills it. Cooper Roth from 40. And so the Cowboys have points to show. but are down by 11. Number 13, Boise State, 21-10.
You see the Baylor loss to Texas? Did you call that before the game?
No, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of folks wearing blue and orange right now that are paying attention to those losses at the back end of the top 10, because Boise State at number 13 with a win here certainly could move up. And of course, the college football playoff rankings, the first ones come out this coming week.
Yeah, but all Boise State is worried about right now is can we score a touchdown with a minute and 48 seconds left with 3 timeouts and go 75 yards.
Well, you see what they've done in the first half, in the last 2 minutes this season. 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals. This is game number 8. Rypien scans the field. Contact, interception, no flags. Rico Gafford with the pick. Midfield Gafford to the 40. Gafford inside the 35. Boy, a crucial play with a minute and a half left. Rypien is upset. 33 yards on the return. Bryan Harsin is upset.
Well, 2 things. I thought Rypien waited too long because his receiver gets open rather quickly. And because he held the ball, that allowed Gafford to gain position. Now, the question is this incidental contact? And it's kind of hard to see from that angle. If it's incidental contact, Gafford has every right to go for the football. He just makes body contact, and I think that's a good no call.
Now, momentum if Wyoming can cash in. And it's Hill, and he's outside. Brian Hill stays inbounds at the 29. The clock will continue to run. Wyoming has 2 timeouts left, a minute 20 left. Wyoming last 2 minutes of the first half, 4 touchdowns. Now, great opportunity for Craig Bohl and Wyoming to jump right back in this thing. 2nd and 3. Allen, got him! Hollister, touchdown! What a turn of events. 2nd touchdown for Jacob Hollister.
What a good play design and a play call from Brent Vigen, the offensive coordinator, aligning Hollister as a fullback in the backfield and then sending him out to the boundary, and he's wide open for the touchdown.
Extra point is good, and just like that, Josh Allen and Wyoming are within 4. Cassie McKinney is with Bryan Harsin. Cassie?
Well, Coach, Wyoming has got a lot of momentum to end the half. How do you address it with your team?
Well, we come back out and get it. It's the second half. I mean, they got the momentum going at halftime. Everything changes when you come out. Eliminate turnovers, simple as that. I think we're moving the ball, but we got to do a better job of eliminating turnovers, and then we got to cover some people on defense.
What concerns you about the pressure they're putting on your quarterback right now?
Well, they got us twice there at the end in certain passing situations. So, you know, we just got to get the ball out of our hands, not take a sack, and eliminate those negative plays.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, Cassie. Number 13, Boise State on the road in the Mountain West, trying to stay unbeaten, trying to stay on that path for a New Year's 6. But Wyoming is on the rise, and within 4. We're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Halloween just a few days away, and in Laramie, Wyoming tonight, number 13 Boise State is looking to get to 8-0 and keep that march towards a New Year's 6 game going, but Wyoming just won't cooperate. Rich Waltz, Adam Archuleta, no shortage for offense in a very entertaining first half.
Well, both teams are pretty much exactly the same teams they were before this game. The same personality, the same profile. Boise State showing a lot of balance on their side of the ball, which they've done. And then Wyoming, of course, leaning on Brian Hill. to carry them in the second half, and as well as some big plays by their tight end, Jacob Hollister.
Quicken Loans brings you first half numbers. I know you were the defensive player of the year in the then Pac-10, but these offensive numbers have to scare you a bit.
Well, and it comes down both teams not tackling well, especially in the secondary. Wyoming, some big missed tackles to lead to big plays. And the same thing for the Broncos. They've allowed Brian Hill to get loose in the secondary, but also dropping coverage. Too many wide open tight ends, namely Jacob Hollister, wide open for big plays.
So here you've got Boise State and you've got Wyoming. Obviously there's a lot on the line. The Cowboys are on the rise. Craig Bowl at 5-2. Now they're 3-0 in the Mountain West. Brian Harsin, of course, Boise State undefeated overall in number 13. They're 3-0 in the Mountain West. Wyoming gets it at 25. We check in with Cassie McKinney.
Yeah, guys, just caught up with Coach Bowl coming out of the locker room, and as you can imagine, he is so pleased with the way that first half ended and the way his team was able to bounce back and take control. He said they were able to do that because everyone started taking care of business on both sides of the ball. Everyone stepped up. Really good energy in the locker room. He also told us before the game, scoring in the red zone was key. He said they've been able to move the chains, but we have got to get into the end zone more, and guys, expect them to lean on Brian Hill and those tight ends to lead the way here in the second half.
And remember, everybody, Wyoming was stopped on 4th and goal from the 1 and didn't get any points out of a great drive in that first half. And they opened the second half with Hill straight ahead. Sam McCaskill and Durant Miles made the stop for Boise State. Where do defenses go from this point? Arch, let's start with Boise State.
Well, you know, it's hard. It's got to be hard for a defensive coordinator. In this case, Andy Avalos, the first-year DC for Boise State. It's hard when you call up defenses and you have guys in position, but they don't make the play and they miss the tackles.
Hill, boy, he gets to that second level so well, and he fights his way for a first down. That's a gain of 7.
Well, Boise thinks they have a fumble.
If the officials did not react as if it was a fumble. Now Wyoming says they have it. And it looks like Wyoming will hold on to the football.
And I think it was Chancellor James, the free safety. You see him go up there up high, and he says he's trying to make a case that he wrestles the ball away from Hill as he's going to the ground.
Wyoming, their own 36. First possession, second half. Josh Allen, a low throw, and he was looking for Jake Mulhart. Sonic quarterback comparison shows both Josh Allen and Brett Rypien. They both had big moments, and they both had throws they wish they had back.
Well, the one interception by Allen was a tip ball by the nose tackle, David Moa. So you can't really put that as a big blemish for him. And I thought Rypien has played pretty well. Now, he was lucky on a couple throws that could have been interceptions. And, of course, the big one by Rico Gafford down the field. But he's made some great decisions and has made some great throw, and so far had a pretty good half.
Second down 10. Another throw, Gentry. And he's hit there by Tyler Horton.
I think the one thing that you can say for Josh Allen is, again, he doesn't throw the ball a lot in games. But tonight, he started a little shaky with some bad accuracy. But the throws he has made have been big throws and throws that counted on third downs and for touchdowns.
Well, this is a big third down here. Third down 7 from the 39. Boise State brings 4. Allen escapes the pocket and then is tripped up. That's a terrific play. Blake Whitlock, the junior linebacker out of Reno. Remember, Allen's so good on third down with his feet.
We see Whitlock to Allen's right, and he's the outside rusher going up the field, but he retraces his steps as he sees Allen trying to get upfield and climb the pocket, and makes a great shoestring tackle for a save.
Cedric Wilson is deep. And Woods punts. That's a fair catch at the 11. Enter Jeremy McNichols, Boise State's first touch of the second half. Number 13, Boise State on the road and up, but by only 4 to a 5-2 Wyoming Cowboy team. First half possession. Now Boise State ripped off some huge drives. Look at those 3 in the middle, 71, 99, 75.
They were unstoppable for those 3 drives, but some mistakes cost them at the end of the half.
Rypien fires it out. Spurbeck breaks through to the 15, and he'll be shy of the first down. They mark it at the 17-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it's 2nd down and 5.
And Spurbeck kind of had a quiet first half, but makes Epps badly miss on the tackle.
Same play, right side. Nice tackle by DJ May.
You can see that coming out of halftime, Brian Harsin trying to ramp up the tempo, trying to get more plays. I think he sensed that they had Wyoming at the end of the second half and their defense on their heels and tired a little bit.
3rd down 5. Boise State 1 of 3 on 3rd downs in the first half. Rypien sideline, incomplete through the hands of Spurbeck. And you don't say that very often when you call a Boise State game.
Spurbeck was open for a brief moment, and I thought Rypien was just a tad bit late. But that hits him right in the hands, and you don't see that very often. Number 82 not come down with a catch.
Sean Whale getting ready to punt this thing for Boise State. Austin Conway is, and a good high spiral. Fair catch. Conway makes it right at the 25-yard line. 43-yard punt. As you pointed out, Wyoming's not been great on 3rd down this season, and tonight, as you saw, just 3 of 9. Blitz comes. Time for Allen. Steps up, escapes. Allen has the first down, still on his feet, and to the 41-yard line. Andy Avalos, the defensive coordinator for Boise State, told us this week that Josh Allen scares him on 3rd down.
Well, and you got to be extremely disappointed defensively. It's demoralizing when you have 3rd and 10 and you have good coverage on the back end, but you can't get the quarterback down when he scrambles up the middle.
Hill. Boy, Allen has, I mean, if you were to draw up a quarterback for this program in this system, it would be big, 6'5", 222, ultra competitive, mobile, and there's the guy that they, I mean, the blueprint was Carson Wentz, right? He was the guy that Craig Bohl recruited at North Dakota State. He's doing okay.
Yeah, you know, I think we have a long way to go before we start making the Josh Allen, Carson Wentz comparisons, but the thing is that when you talk to the staff and you watch him, he's still raw, and he still has a tremendous amount of upside. So he's going to get better and better the more he plays.
Well, you're right. I mean, he had a year junior college. He wasn't highly recruited. When Craig Bohl went down to offer him, he went to Allen's home and said, look, I'm not recruiting you to come up and be a quarterback. I'm recruiting you to be the guy. You are the guy that we need. And he was hurt last year, almost the entire season, but boy, is he been outstanding this year.
And he's taken off so much pressure from this running game. Last year, they were extremely one-dimensional, but you see what he can do with his arm talent.
3rd down, right open, C.J. Johnson. 1st down, Wyoming. Boise State 29. 25 yards, Allen to Johnson.
Well, Boise's secondary tonight is having a hard time losing the inside receivers and the tight ends in coverage. C.J. Johnson, the slot receiver, just hooks up, You see all the linebackers reacting to Allen as he tries to break the pocket, but then Allen keeps his eyes downfield and hits his freshman wide receiver for a big play.
Number 13, Boise State on the road and on top, but by only 4, and Wyoming is moving. From Laramie, you're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. In Laramie, 21-17, start of the 4th. Wyoming has not been a good fourth quarter team, but a great opportunity here up in our football hideaway. Rich Welt's Adam Archuleta as Wyoming on first down and 10 inside Boise State territory to the 27-yard line. This is a 15 minutes of football that could shake up or shape the landscape of the group of 5 and obviously the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, third quarter, you know, both offenses were hot in the second quarter, and then the defenses came out and started to make plays. And the thing that worked for Wyoming was their quarterback, Josh Allen, making a big scramble on 3rd and 10, and then another big third down where the scramble forced the defense to come up, and then he found his wide receiver from behind.
Another scramble on 2nd down and 8, and he'll pick up 5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4. Now Wyoming is down 4. They are in field goal range, and Cooper Roth has hit from 40 yards already tonight. Brian Hill in the slot, and now joins Allen in the backfield. A 3rd down and 4. And it's Allen who keeps, and Tanner Vallejo absolutely plants him with some help from Ben Weaver. And it looks like Wyoming is going to settle for a shot at 3.
Boy, what a perfect play from Vallejo and Weaver. Remember, the first drive of the game, Allen ran the exact same play on 3rd down, kept it. Hill became the lead blocker and got the first down. This time, they weren't having it. Weaver and Vallejo knew exactly what was happening, and they stuck Allen in the backfield.
Freshman kicker, and he drills another. So he's 2 for 2. And this is a 1-point game with 13 minutes left. Craig Bull and the Cowboys within a point of number 13. Brett Rypien, Jeremy McNichols waiting to get their hands on the football. Boise State's lead is down to 1. End over end kick, Jonathan Moxie out to the 22-yard line. Number 13, Boise State, up a point with the ball. Under 13 minutes left in the 4th. And McNichols to the 30. What tweaks do you make to this Boise State offense to get it rolling?
Well, I think they just did. I think, you know, they have to use their workhorse, McNichols. And he was the centerpiece that really kind of got this thing going for them early on in the game. And that was the first time this half on first down to start a drive that they have gone with a run play. It's normally been play action pass, and they haven't hit it, and that's put them in 2nd and 3rd and long. This is exactly where they want to be.
2nd 2, Rypien a slant on the money to Wilson, and he's caught by the shoe tops. And Robert Priester of Wyoming.
But see, it just does so much for your offense when you're sitting at 2nd and short. You know, now Wyoming, they don't know what defense to call. You know, the running game is still in play, but you see that play action pass, that opens up the passing lane for the slant.
Close to midfield on a 3-yard pickup. The junior McNichols, the guy that came out of Long Beach, a running back, a wide receiver when they needed him. And once they split him out, it was in a game at Nevada a couple years ago. They split him out at wide receiver. All of a sudden they realized they had a threat both in the backfield and outside of the tackles.
Surprised that we haven't seen more of him in the passing game, lined up as a wide receiver tonight.
2nd and 7, blitz comes, Rypien's throw on the money. Caught there Chaz Anderson. And another big pickup, Rico Gafford on the coverage.
Well, you can see Rypien right now is starting to feel it. The last two balls on slants have been on the money. It's pretty good coverage right there, but Anderson has the inside track and comes down with a football. When Rypien can get back there and fire it on time, he shows great timing and precision with his wide receivers.
Inside Wyoming territory at the 33. Looks like a little flea flicker. Spurbeck looking. Rypien made the catch. Rypien to the 10. Touchdown, Boise State. Thomas Spurbeck, his second touchdown throw. And Rypien made the catch and rumbles in 33 yards. And that is vintage Boise State.
Well, you see they've had so much success over the last 10 years on these plays. You know, Spurbeck, you've seen him do this before. You know he can throw the ball, but everybody's attention goes to Spurbeck on the reverse, and nobody accounts for Rypien coming out of the backfield. That is a perfect play design for the Boise offense.
Great design, exceptional execution, and Boise State puts up 7 more. Brian Harsin and the Broncos up 8 in the 4th in Wyoming. Brian Harsin and the Broncos have a chance to get to 8-0, 4-0 in conference. And with a couple of losses in front of them at number 13, when the college football playoff rankings come out this week for the first time, who knows? They might be closer to the top 10 than number 13. Here's, what was it Craig Ball told us yesterday about his ball club? Got to be Cowboy tough. This one down the sideline, and it's caught. Jacob Hollister again. How did he see that football?
Well, Cameron Hartsfield, again, the safety involved in the coverage. And boy, I have no idea how Hollister catches this ball. He comes down in bounds, but that's the second time in this game on that sideline he has had to make an acrobatic adjustment for the football and comes through with a huge play.
What an enormous night for the senior tight end. Now emptying the playbook is Wyoming, and Gentry is sniffed out. Don't you get the sense that when it comes to trick plays, the Boise State defense has seen it all in practice? There's nothing they haven't seen, right?
Yeah, it hasn't worked at all for Wyoming. And now, again, it puts you in a second and long situation. But boy, it doesn't get any better than that from Jonathan Moxey, the boundary corner, getting off the block and making an open field tackle on a shifty, athletic wide receiver.
And Tanner Gentry actually lost 3 yards. Ball just outside the 40-yard line of Boise State. Allen, an out pattern. Nice catch by Mulhart, who had to reach back behind him. And the big wide receiver makes this a little more manageable of a 3rd down. It'll be 3rd down and 6 off a 7-yard gain. Six of 13 on 3rd down tonight is Wyoming. And Josh Allen has picked up 3 of those 3rd downs on a broken play. Boise State shows blitz. They come with only 3. He's flushed, double pumps, got it out, caught by Harshman. Now the question was he past the line of scrimmage, 7 yards on the throw? And it looked like he got rid of it just before he crossed the line.
His entire body has to be past the line of scrimmage, and I think it's pretty evident. But what a throw, and he zips it right between the safety and the linebacker.
Yep, a yard behind. 1st and 10.
Josh Allen has made some huge plays tonight on 3rd down.
This is Whip, and he's going to lose 2 yards. Ben Weaver, good pursuit there, with some help from Jabril Frazier, the sophomore, who plays that stud linebacker spot.
Well, you see what Allen's athletic ability has done. He's picked up some 1st downs by using his legs, but just the mere threat of him running has made the linebackers commit And then he's been able to make a big throw behind to his receivers.
Second down, 13. Allen, sideline, a wobbler, and it's incomplete. He's been pretty tight with a football and getting it sideline to sideline, but that one fluttered on him.
This is going to be an interesting sequence here because it's 3rd and 13. And you wonder here with 6 minutes and 52 seconds left, down by 8, does Craig Bohl think this is 4-down territory? His defense has played well in the 3rd quarter. Now they gave up a big touchdown drive, but it's going to be a big decision here depending on what happens here on 3rd and 13.
Hill is back in the game and in the backfield with Allen. Boise State with pressure. Allen's in trouble. Looking, firing, end zone, caught! Touchdown! Gentry!
Yeah, you got to go for 2 here.
Tanner Gentry at the back of the end zone. Allen escaped and threw a strike.
But I don't know how they connected on this play. It was an unbelievable effort in the first place for Allen to get outside the pocket. He's running for his life to the sideline. He makes a gesture. He throws the ball while he's running on a rope, and then Tanner Gentry on the end line goes up and gets the ball while he's covered. That is unbelievable play again on 3rd down from Josh Allen.
Now going for 2.
Yeah, you go for 2 here because a 1-point game, you still have to kick a field goal. You might as well tie it up.
Conway in motion. Allen rolls, looks, fires, end zone, caught! It's tied. It's Morehearts. Look at the smile on Craig Bohl's face. This young team is growing up before his eyes. Josh Allen to Tanner Gentry, and then to Tyets. Morehearts back of the end zone. 28 apiece, 6:42 left. Number 13 Boise State up and coming Wyoming.
Well, this is pretty unbelievable. Tanner Gentry is well covered, but then Josh Allen rolling to his right, throws a frozen rope to the back of the end zone to Gentry. Gentry's going to be well covered. You're going to see 2 defenders on him. But then Allen is just trying to make a play. He's motioning for Gentry to try to get open. There's 2 Bronco defenders there. But Gentry comes down with the ball.
This is Wilson. He's upended at the 27-yard line. Yeah, that was a 10-play, 90-yard drive. McNichols and Jeremy McNichols with a big 10-yard pickup. Andrew Wingard made the stop. And after a slow 3rd quarter for both offenses, it's game back on in the 4th.
And both quarterbacks really, they've done it in different ways. Rypien was showing great timing and feel for what the Cowboys were doing offensively. And then on the other side of the ball, Josh Allen doing it with his legs, making outstanding throws.
2nd and less than a yard, and McNichols is stoned. Marcus Epps, the sophomore safety out of Los Angeles.
Boy, safeties had a hard time in the first half, but Marcus Epps hitting the line of scrimmage and getting to McNichols with a great tackle.
Epps is a guy who walked on from Los Angeles. He walked on up here in Laramie. Now he's a captain as a sophomore and on scholarship. 3rd down and a yard. Play action Rypien. He's going to keep it. Rypien dives. He's close. I don't think he got it. Wyoming says the ball is loose, and he's short of the first down by a yard.
Boy, I thought he had his wide receiver, A.J. Richardson. He was open. Richardson beat his man and was wide open, but Rypien couldn't find him. This would have went for a big play, totally unaccounted for, but the pressure inside by Josiah Hall makes him pull it down, and a huge play for the Cowboy defense.
All right, it's less than a yard. Whale flags down again, though no whistle. This is Conway, catch of the 21, he's in trouble. And he squirts through. Conway to the 30, lost the ball. It's picked up. They'll say he's down. One official is out at the 30, the other's back at the 17.
Illegal formation. Kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the
Well, this isn't going well for Boise State.
Timeout.
$28 apiece. 4:22 left. 7,200 feet up. Conway through the middle. And Conway is out to the 42. That's a 7-yard pickup. Clock runs. 3 minutes left in this football game. Number 13, Boise State and Wyoming. At 5-2, Wyoming has won 3 straight for the first time ever in their history in the Mountain West Conference. This is the 17th season of the Mountain West. 2nd down and 3. Hill bounces outside, stays on his feet. Man, he has a 2nd and a 3rd gear that you just don't see very often.
Well, that's just great team defense by Boise State. Durant Miles and Jonathan Moxie closed down the edge on a running back that's been breaking tackles and getting outside all night. That was played perfectly by the Broncos defense.
But after the initial hit, enough for the first down. 1st and 10. Wyoming, their own 45. Sean Wick in the game. Replaces Hill. Allen looking, rolling, fires, and incomplete. Intended for Jake Mulhart. 2nd down and 10.
That was a wise choice. This was a throwaway the entire way. Again, this is a 3-man route, and all of his options are covered. And instead of forcing it, he throws it away and gives his offense another chance on 2nd and 10.
3 touchdown throws, 274 yards through the air for the redshirt sophomore Josh Allen. Both teams have all their timeouts. 2nd and 10. Allen on a quarterback keeper, and he's going to get 3, but this is another long 3rd down. Third and 7. Allen, long throw, and he had a man wide open. It was Hollister. And the 3rd down magic evaporates for the Cowboys.
He's going to see this on tape, and this was a big missed opportunity. Hollister cuts to the middle of the field behind one of his wide receivers, and one of the only poor passes of the second half from Allen.
Ethan Wood will punt. Cedric Wilson deep. He fumbled a return earlier in the ball game. And it bounces at the 5 and checks up, and it's going to die right at the 10-yard line. 1:38 left in this football game. 28-28. There are the standings. Wyoming and Boise State at 3-0. Remember, San Diego State sits at 4-0, and San Diego State still has to come to Laramie in November. Boise State's kicker getting loose. Tyler Rassa. Rypien. Shotgun, pressure, throws out of bounds. Wyoming got to Rypien twice in the first half. Second down and 10.
Well, they got to him in the first half, but that was in the 2-minute situation. But for the most part tonight, Rypien's offensive line is protected extremely well.
Second down, 10. Rypien flushed, hit, ball's loose, it's out of the end zone. That's going to be a safety unless it's a forward pass. No ruling yet.
I think that ball was out before his hands started coming forward. Chase Appleby, the nose tackle, wraps around, and I believe knocks the ball out before Rypien had a chance to make that forward motion.
It's a safety. Certainly to be reviewed. Wow. Chase Appleby.
Here, and he's going to wrap out as Rypien tries to escape to his left. The nose tackle running a game. And it looked like that ball was out.
Oh, I don't know. Arm was back. I don't know that there's enough to overturn that, Arch.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Safety.
So Wyoming's lead is 2. 2002, the last time Wyoming took down a ranked team.
Well, now Boise State, they can onside this kick. 1:25 with 2 timeouts left. They've tried three onside kicks this season and have yet to recover one. But that's going to be your only choice here.
Wyoming has covered the only onside kick against them. You rarely see an onside kick from the 20, but here we go.
Yeah, there's not enough time on the clock with only 2 timeouts. This is your only chance if you're Boise State.
Rassa with the onside kick. Gets a good bounce. Gentry has it and secures it at the 34. Tyler Gentry.
Clock operator. Please put the game clock at 1.
Brian Harson and Craig Bohl, who built and took that North Dakota State program to incredible heights. 3 consecutive national championships. He arrived here, went 4-8 his first year, and sputtered to 2-10 last year. They were young, 26 freshmen last year. They were banged up. But this year, not only have they turned a corner, but an enormous step forward if they can milk this last minute 24. Hill straight ahead, fighting for yardage. Hill busts inside the 25. He's close to a first down. Boise State with 2 timeouts. Boise State has used the timeout to stop the clock. They've got 1 left. Second down and 3. Hill close to the first down. He'll be a yard shy. Let's see if Boise uses their last, and they do. So, 1:08 left.
Timeout. Boise State, 3rd and final. 60 seconds.
It's going to be 3rd down and 2. If they don't, then they've got a decision to make as to whether they try a field goal
against a team that is very proficient at blocking field goals.
Hollister in motion. Hill straight ahead. He's close. He's got it. First down, Wyoming. And number 13, Boise State, cannot stop the clock.
Well, right up the gut. It's been good to him all night. Caden Jackson, the right guard, pulls around. And another critical block and surge by Chase Roulier, the senior leader in the offensive line.
Victory formation. Wyoming has come a long way in a short time to 6-2 and 4-0. And they take down, for the first time since 2002, a ranked team. And tonight, it's number 13, Boise State. Chase Appleby, the senior defensive lineman, who forced the safety. And that decides this game. Those 2 points are the difference tonight. And it's going to be a big night in Laramie, Wyoming. Let's go down to Cassie McKinney.
Well, Coach, how does it feel to be absolutely mobbed by the crowd?
Well, it's a great team win for our whole state and the University of Wyoming. We're excited about it.
What type of statement does this win show the Mountain West?
You know, we're making strides. It puts us back on the, I don't know, it's a great win. I'm going to enjoy it. Go Pokes!
When you look at this crowd behind you.
Go Pokes!
Well, I hope Coach and Cassie get out of there okay.
Two tremendous football teams, both coming in here with momentum and both living up to the hype. We had a great ball game here to watch tonight.
Who knows how far this Cowboy team can go. But right now they take down number 13 Boise State. They're 6-2 and 4-0. And they are winners tonight, 30-28. For Adam Archuleta, Cassie McKinney, our entire CBS crew. Terrific job from them tonight. I'm Rich Waltz. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. After the break, we're headed to San Jose for UNLV and San Jose State. Dwayne Ballin, Randy Cross, and Taylor Rooks. Good night from Laramie.